Okay, live figure drawing auction. These are drawings from various years. This is not the only collection of drawings. This is just an older set. These certain ones are going to get it put into silkscreen for fabrics. Okay, so here we go. This is obviously one of the famous cartoonists. This could be Brad Anderson, but there's a series of these little drawings from the Cartoonist Society. Here we have, I remember this one. This was a figure drawing in New York City. This guy kept sticking his butt because he didn't like the way I drew his face. You'll see him. So everybody, here is that same model session. It's a figure drawing. This is a marker on paper. I'm not sure of the quality. It looks like a good quality bond that I have here. Figure drawing, another one. This one is definitely going to go into some kind of clothing because it's just wicked. Just on a white shirt or a white tank and have figures like this. They'll be processed through Photoshop. So anyway, this was about 18, 19. Again, figure drawing from that same period. It looks like the same stock of paper, so it must have been very close together models. Another one from that same model. This model was nice to me. The other one was putting his butt in my face. So obviously, I'm kind of concerned. It looks like a surfer because of the arms, so I don't know if it's that from that period. I do remember this one. These are not that successful. Watercolors on a stock bond. I'm not sure. I'm confused if this is the same model. This looks like an older model, but watercolor ink on illustration bond. Here we have again figure drawing on illustration bond. Okay, this was a beautiful little drawing. This is obviously that same New York City model that didn't like the way I drew his face. So more than likely he'll have turned his face, and that's why I didn't finish his drawing. Pardon for the cough. Again, some beautiful drawings that day, regardless of the state of the relationship we had. Okay, we're moving on. So here is some quick sketches of that same model. Again, these will make beautiful silkscreen fabric, white t-shirt, white tanks. There's some different ones here. I just like the editing that happened that day in these drawings. This was with my professor, that's why they're so top-notch. Again, the same model and costume. This is quite interesting on many levels. Okay, that same model. Very thin the model was. A dancer, perhaps. You know, so there's the model. Okay, we're going to move on. This is quite a stack. The model who did not like me. Again, for those who are joining, the model didn't like the way I drew his face, so he kept giving me his butt that day. Here is, see, he was very happy to cover his face for this one. But this is him in costume. Okay, the other model that was nice to me, I just can tell by the way the drawings went. I don't remember it specifically. The mole is interesting to me. So, I mean, that kind of triggers a memory. Again, I love this one for a figure shirt. It's just wild, you know, it's just simple, it's not that graphic. But you can tell I had a good session that day. This is a great one. Okay, here we have the model. See, they were a performer or a dancer, so they really had, I think they were ballet. But here it is on the back. Is that on the back? No, it's stuck on this one. Yeah, so you can see, I mean, a tremendous character. Okay, we're moving on, and here we have more quick sketches from that day. Oh, we might have seen this one already. Okay. Just before the costume pulling, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. We're halfway through a live auction of figure drawings. I mean, this is just, it's kind of fun, and if people can help me with a huge stock of art that I'm trying to slim down, that would be helpful. I just love these. I think just even a whole clothing pattern of just stuff like this, whereas maybe not just the one figure, but a pattern of fabric made out of these little drawings. It's just cool. Here's that model. You can tell that model was good. Somehow I think it was related in the same day because they seem to use the same props. That's a fantastic piece. This is definitely under the tutelage of my professor when I was in New York. Now, so I had taken some classes in Parsons just for drawing, figure drawing. And this was from that session, there's no doubt. Okay, so here it is, some more. I'd gotten a very loose, wiggly drawing style. Okay, this we're going to have to work. It's a double-sided, which is not always the best. But you can see it's a female model, and these are better. Now, looking at that tells me the model's name was Barbara. More than likely, that's who it was. And she was very. She appears a lot because she was a model that I did a lot of foundation drawing with. And this I can't place where this is from, but this is interesting. So this is a figure drawing. This likely is in San Diego. So this is in the early 90s now. The previous set was definitely from the 80s. This we're going to fast forward because this would have to be in the middle 90s. It's done on animation paper, which mentions that I was at a studio, and this was probably local. It looks influenced by you know, the gaming, animation, kind of how you can kind of communicate with each other. But definitely on animation paper, animation bond. These are quite nice in themselves, but they have that comic book superhero look, which meant I was amongst animators and such, and that's how we just kind of work with each other. This one is a gorgeous drawing. But you can see, again, it has that superhero effect to it. Let me scan one of these so you just know how it. And this was done with some kind of charcoal pencil. I should have been scanning these up close during this whole video. I'm sorry I have not. I'll try to do it for the rest. But it's interesting. I like this format, and I'm glad that some people are here, or most people left, but it's simple. People can review it later. Again, I like this a lot. I wish everybody wasn't reaching off of something on the floor all day. It's kind of annoying with that set. Okay, again, now we're in the video game land. Okay, now I can place this, and this would be considered god-awful. God-awful is what it would be, and it was just early. I didn't quite get coloring and painting down. Now this one is definitely a head. This is going to be on a shirt. It's just perfect, and because it doesn't actually show any nudity, it's quite interesting. Okay, so again, this had to have been from, I suspect, 1988 or 9. 1988 or 9. Again, very close. Had this gone further, it would have been as good as the other one. Anyway, what we're doing here is we're going over drawings, and if anybody wants to bid, I can get a pack of smokes today. Okay, anyway, here we have, again, that must be that same model, but the treatment. It seems like they were done in a day or back to back. Okay, now this, I know the paper. This is interesting. I know the paper, I know the model, and I'll know the period. Now this is a nice parchment piece of paper. This is marker, this is pen and ink. And with some marker, they'll fade, they'll turn purple. So this is now 20, 30 years, and it's quite good. So you know it'll last to the end. End of time, because with the world's ending. I'm just kidding. Anyway, 92. Completely awful, and that's just what it is. It just needed to be one color. And worse than you can imagine, but it's interesting. So again, now more successful. I was getting a handle on it that day. I was trying to use too many colors at once. I should have used the 2-color here. So somebody might have told me that day, and that's why I got it down to that one. Now I love this drawing. I know the period. I got very statuesque. I can bring it back. Any of the stuff I can bring back. I'm using the statuesque in the paintings now, if you can see. But this is just a drawing I absolutely love. So this will make a shirt. Okay, I'm not that fond of this one, but it's interesting. It was obviously costume. I know it's in San Diego. It's weird. This, by the way, I know that this was Cartoon Society drawing or Animators Club figure drawing night classes. This is what these were. I can tell by the paper. Now this one, I'm in love with. This is absolutely going to, this would be about 92, 93. This is going to make a beautiful shirt. Just on a white tank. So, we're about halfway through the stack. I don't expect everybody to stick around, but I'm glad you are. And this is going to just sit as a kind of video people can watch and comment on later. We want to see how these do. They're quite interesting, I think. So anyway, from that same session, I didn't catch the beauty as I did there. That was her, very pixie. So this was around cranberries time. You remember the cranberries? There's the haircut. Anyway, a very interesting figure drawing. This abstracted shirt, maybe big scale. Pretty nice. Overprint. Okay, so there's I can't really place this. The speed would put it in the early 90s because I would scribble a bit. It was animating time, and but they're interesting. They're very spatial. If you notice all the drawings, they're just interesting. I like that one. This one here is same model. So she was older, I can tell. I don't think she was young. Sometimes it does make a difference. It just depends how I treat the subjects. I'd like that a lot. That'll make a good shirt, actually. If you just have that across and there's the collar, it's kind of interesting. I know who this model is. I'd rather not discuss it. But they have in San Diego community. This is a nice visit Bristol. It's a nice drawing. I know this model as well. Same set of people. This is in San Diego. Okay, this is random. This must have been in a drawing class. And here is a napkin. So this is the place card in some restaurant, and we were all cartoonists together hanging out. Yeah, something from New York. I think it was classwork. I'm not that proud of this one. I love this drawing. That is the most incredible thing on the planet. So I'm going to use that again. I'll use that, and there it is. This is obviously from a model session, but the model was closed, so it makes it strange maybe where it was. Oh no, the model didn't. So you see, I love that one. That's a beautiful drawing. So you can see some of the stuff being that old, it has this weird kind of stuff. I don't know why the tape was on it. It might have been used for something. I love this one. Now I have pencil in here, so I could place this in the 90s. And there, it's like the 99. So I lost some of my confidence, and I kind of went pencil for a while. I still pulled it off. It's just, you have to build it up by doing a lot of these, and then you start running like an engine. So 99, we got years on this. So I was signing everything Patrick. That's before I went to Moran. I love this one. That's just great. This was video game, just again, the video game influence. Video game, probably being a little bit more serious. Video game. Video game. These are the quick poses, so I don't know what I was particularly doing that day, using up sheet after sheet. Okay, so we have this. This is a great one. Needs a head. I could steal a head from another one. Make it a shirt. I could just take that head right there. But I'm not going to do that. I love these little kind of sectioned off pieces. Okay, so we'll take a little breather. Here we have, this is obviously female. I believe this would have to be female. Yes, the female model. I like this because it's so abstract, but it's so cool at the same time. So, anyway, that was that model. This is a nice one. Definitely figure. There's that beautiful girl again. I remember speaking to her that day. Anyway, the Pixies, the Cranberries, you know, that song that was big. That was exactly in this. I do remember, I believe this, and there was something attached to this with, oh, drawing classes having competitions and people getting angry at each other, and it made it an awkward drawing. It's an okay drawing. Again, old cartoonists I used to hang out with. Sorry. This, I know who the model is. This is in the photography. I just didn't quite have a grip on my watercolor at that period. They were a little too ghoulish, but they're still, I mean, if somebody wants them. Anyway, this I thought would be a little bit of a more unwrappable. So this is the plague of being amongst other artists. We draw each other, and we're often, I know that, Daphne Mordecai, our professor himself. And somewhere in here, I hate to say it, but, oh man, it may not be me. I thought that was a version of me. I kind of think that is me. Like, that's how people saw me back then. I mean, yeah, I think so, because they always give me a bigger nose. But yeah, I think that's me. Oh, a little disappointing, but you know, that's how my classmates viewed me. And I remember him. And so, yeah, we all drew each other. It was a big, horrible, painful game that we played, and we hurt everybody's feelings tremendously. And obviously we all had to take on our teacher. Alright, put this one away. I don't know if this is for sale. This, I know who that is. I don't want to name him, but it's very funny. We were not kind to each other. Oh, this person I love to the day I'll die. I know who that is. I might have drawn that actually. I'm not sure that it did. Yeah, it looks like me, kind of. My drawing. Yeah, that is definitely me. Drawing. I drew this. So I drew this of somebody I really cared about. All right, moving on. Old cartoonists. We always got to love these. These are published in the newsletter, you know. So, you know, Marmaduke, like, who else was local? Family Circus, all those guys. That's a little, I hung out with them at that period. The model, I can tell by this, we didn't have a good time that day. She's looking at her clock, and she seems very bored, and I seem bored drawing her, so I'm making her a bloody mess. But I got a handle now on the inks, the colored inks. You see I'm getting better at it. But yeah, the whole thing is like, who wants all these drawings of her with a watch? They're still good, but you know, it's like she didn't give me anything to work with. All right, moving on. I really had a field day on her. Oh dear. I didn't, no wonder. Now I do know the model. I know this model. And we'll just leave it at that. But look at that face. Definitely from the East Coast. I know her. Okay, now I love this. That is beyond, that is so wild. That has got, I wonder if it's a male or a female. I don't quite know yet. Oh, it's a female. For sure it's a female. They're stunning. I love these. So I need these. We're moving on. I love how people drop in and drop out. It's all super cool. Anyway, I like this, but we would need a head for this. You know, it looks a little decapitated. And we're coming back. Okay, now I now have a big surprise at the end. These aren't live unboxing, that's the next one, but here we have that model. We're back here again. These survived 30-something years, these things. Quite interesting. So we're getting close to there now. Female, now am I gonna want? Yeah, I know who this is. I think I know who this is. The model was my first model. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. And you gotta understand, these had sketchbooks. So sometimes these models will appear in the same day in sketchbooks. They'll appear next to each other. That's why it just seems like there's a gap sometimes. Sometimes I'll edit them out, but most of the times it's like there's a companion book or something that went with it. So I'm gonna have a separate one where I unbox the sketchbooks that I haven't seen in 20 or 30 years. This is that model. So I wonder if he liked how I did his face by the end of the day. But I think he was French. Here we have a musician drawing. Now this is just perfect in itself. Need to say nothing. Okay, now this is the grand finale. These are stunning. These are charcoal and they're big. I placed them in San Diego, but I know the model. But why I was working in charcoal, I can't figure out. Because it wouldn't be normal for me, because it's messy. It's messy and there's a potential the drawings don't survive. That is beyond sick. That is going to be a shirt. That is going to be a shirt. So it's, for me as an artist, I'm having a good time kind of going back and remembering all that I've done, and it kind of puts me back together as a person. I've had some memory issues due to a scooter accident. But, you know, these are fantastic. So, They're not drawn on both sides, but you know, it's kind of like a book. They've been folded and unopened for, I haven't seen these in 1992, so I have no idea what sometimes what these pages are going to bring. Okay, so that's the, maybe the end, no, it's not quite the end of that side. There we go. Look. Jeez, so that was a quick, why I was, where I was in this, I mean, you can see once the scooter accident happened, tend to have, I'm going to get it back, but tend to have like a more angular line. I mean, I get it. I always have had an angular line, but I had this loose line that was around for a while. And, you know, that could just be, I'm aware of it, and I'm working on it again. It's muscles, it's memory, it's skill, it's labor. You have to get it all working as a machine. Okay, so here we are at the last, again. That's an amazing shirt. That's an amazing piece. The collar line here and just that. And the grays, they're going to all be digitized. Okay, we have to do the other side, and then this will be the end. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make sure I'm on full. We did this one. Yeah, that is sicker than nails. We did that. Okay, so we're going right here in the middle. We did this one. We're going on this side now. Okay, ready? Wrapping this up. Let me move the lamp. Okay, so interesting. That's cool. That's just cool. Okay, that's cool. Kind of disappointing. Oh, maybe we have a stash here. Looks like we do. Yay. Okay, that's sick. Okay, that's a part of the other drawing. That is tremendous. Just, okay, so now you have the collar, and then you have the tank. That's what I want to do. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Wow. That's something. Hi, Roseanne. Anyway. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Last one. Thicker than beans and rice. Okay, one more time. No, that's the last one. And that ends the live auction. Thank everybody for viewing. You can view it again. You can make comments. You can make bids. If you liked what you see and you like the idea of them on clothing, please leave a comment and your interest, your size too. I have to look at who's going to make them and who's going to source them. How I source them, you always want your own label. So anyway, I'm going to end this. Thank you very much for participating. There's my view.